Let me hear you all together. Shabbat Shalom. And let me hear the Shabbat singers. Shabbat Shalom. It's a beautiful sound of children singing and filling the sanctuary. You know, it's a little rainy out. It's not sunny like earlier in the week, but Shabbat is supposed to make us feel happy and sunny and get us up out of ourselves and out of our chairs. So here's something to put a big smile on your face.
Come on, celebrate with me. Get up, get up, get up. 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 Hinarim,
Shabbat Shalom. It is so wonderful to be here on this cold night to warm up together and have our Shabbat singers with us. It's always better when the Shabbat singers are with us. So as we turn to welcoming Shabbat, and we do so always by lighting our Shabbat candles, we invite Jill Goldman forward in honor of a very special birthday as we turn to page 13.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lihalit ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר
Turn to page 34 for Lecha Dodi.
Lehadodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Shabbat shalom Shabbat shalom Shabbat shalom u'menorah
We rise for the call to worship on page 44. La 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 la
Page 45. If fear is like a rock, then let me be a hammer. If sorrow is a fire, then let me be the sea. When challenges arise, may my heart increase in strength, like the moon that shines brighter when the darkness falls. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Continuing on page 51. Everyone is wrapped in a holy light, which shines brightest in our hour of love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves our people Israel and all your people with an unending love.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
Next weekend, we will be celebrating Shavuot. It's when the Jewish people celebrate receiving the Torah. And if you would like to come, we celebrate Shavuot through confirmation. It's our 9th graders who are once again accepting upon themselves the sweet burden of Torah, all ha-mitzvot. We would love for you to share that with us. And when we get to the moment of the Micha Mocha, these were the first steps taken. For our confirmation students, it was like consecration, then moving to bar and bat mitzvah, and now to confirmation. And so it is as though this week to next, they are standing at the waters of the Red Sea, and next week we will once again receive the Torah at Sinai. And so we take those first steps together on page 62 as we sing Micha Mocha.
Micha mocha, micha mocha, micha mocha, ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha, micha mocha, micha mocha, nedar v'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Who is like thee? Who is like thee? God among the mighty. Who is like thee? Micha mocha, micha mocha, micha mocha, micha mocha, ba'elim Adonai, ba'elim Adonai, ba'elim Adonai. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Please join me in a prayer for peace in the middle of page 64. Cause us, our Creator, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, O sovereign God, to renewed life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and be our shield of mercy and of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Together. Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi agid hilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sahara, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, וזוכר הסתי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, ועזרת שרה.
Together at the bottom of page 69. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently.
On the bottom of page 76, there's a beautiful reading that I think is perfect for the Misha Berach moment. It is better that we look inside ourselves and see what is going on in here than to look up to the heavens to see what is going on up there. And it might seem strange because the Misha Berach, it's a prayer that we're asking God to heal the people we love, but prayer, even in Hebrew, the word is lahit palel, it's reflexive, it's supposed to act upon ourselves. So what we're doing when we say this prayer is we're looking inside ourselves for strength to come through something if we ourselves need a healing, and strength to be caregivers and friends who are praying for those that we love. So we sing the Misha Berach together on page 83.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Every Shabbat, it is as though God and the people of Israel are married. They are a bride and groom. And tonight we have a couple in our sanctuary who have a lot in common with that. They are the bride and the groom. So we would like to call Rachel Lockover and Scott Sadoff forward for their Ufruf wedding blessing. And as they come forward, they'll be receiving gifts of a 1-year membership to Temple Israel and also a mezuzah for the doorposts of the home that they will share together.
ברוכים הבאים בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני.
Rachel and Scott, it is so exciting to be here with you tonight, to have you in front of the community, a community that you are so involved in and you serve with so much love. And we pray that your chuppah, your wedding canopy, is just the beginning of a life of love and happiness, togetherness, and the embracing of a community. And we pray that God sanctifies your love and that you do create a home built upon the values of our Jewish tradition, of faith, of learning, and of community. We hope that your chuppah is transformed into a home of openness and hospitality, filled with love and happiness, laughter and joy, a home based on trust and respect. May you always be with them, O God, guiding them, supporting them, encouraging them in all of life's experiences. And we pray that you are gifted with the greatest gift, the gift of peace. And we say together, Amen.
Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Yehelanu.
Wait till you see this little boy. He's wearing a bow tie. It's adorable. And he has come to our congregation to receive his Hebrew name. So we invite now Reed Patrick Weiss, son of Katie and Eric Weiss, with big sister Adeline. And they are also receiving gifts of candlesticks for their Shabbat table, a baby book for their memories, a dinner at home, and coupons for the ECC where their grandmother teaches. So I think they'll know their way there. Bring him right here. Hi, Reed. Hello. Hi. And the pants, I can't. Okay. Uh-oh, what'd we lose? It's okay. Oh, good, then we can see your punim. Read. On this Shabbat, we are so excited to have you with us. You are receiving the Hebrew name Natan Yosef. You are named in memory of your paternal great-grandfather Nathan and your paternal great-grandfather Joseph. You are so blessed with proud grandparents Andy and Steve Weiss and Barb and Craig Wickander. And you are so blessed with great-grandparents Selma Feldman and Gisela and Bob Vanderven. We are so excited to watch you run these halls with your big sister, to watch you grow in our ECC and beyond. We just feel very blessed to have you both as part of our congregation, this whole family. Mazel tov.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
The most recent temple messenger, Israel at 70 and me at 70 plus 3. And we placed it correctly right opposite the announcement of Detroit Celebrates Israel at 70, Wednesday, June 20th, 4 to 10 p.m. And I love the fact that anyone who is 70 years old, born in the year, any of you here, you get in for free. Does it get any better than that? Come on. Bring 100 people with you. Let them pay. You go for free. So Israel at 70 and me at 70 plus 3. For those of you who have not read the messenger, which I can't believe anyone in this congregation has yet to read our messenger, I begin with the fact that at 70 and plus, we begin to discover doctors that we never knew existed and pills that we place in front of us and supplements. So many supplements that it looks like a meal itself. The central message of the article relates to a young country, Israel at 70, with an ancient history. And really, that's a fascinating combination. 1948, the establishment of Israel. But go back to King David, 1000 BCE, conquering the Jebusites and taking the city, and because of its location and that it wasn't connected to the tribes, becoming the center, the capital of Israel. My story in the article begins with a story, begins with a memory. In 1965, I was a student at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. It was that year abroad program that really impacted my life in more ways than I can begin to describe. I was in Jerusalem when you saw the division between the old and the new city. There was barbed wire on the roads. The barbed wire dividing the old from the new. Now, many of you have traveled to Israel and spent time in Jerusalem, some from that earlier time. Others of you, if you've gone with the Temple Israel or other pilgrimage mission, have shared a Shehechianu moment when you walked into Yerushalayim. Many have stood by the Kotel, the ancient western wall, and offered a prayer. Now, Sunday is the 28th of Iyar. It is a Jewish holiday. Can anyone tell me the name of the holiday? How many of you know the name of the holiday? You better. Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. It's hard to remember, and I understand Yom HaShoah was April 11th, recalling the 6 million who died. Yom HaZikaron, April 17th, recalling those soldiers who died. Yom HaAtzmaut, celebrating Israel's independence. Jerusalem Day, the 28th of Iyar, is that day when we commemorate the moment when Jerusalem became one. The year was 1967, liberation and reunification. Barbed wire was removed from the streets. The shofar was blown at the western retaining wall where the temple used to stand above. Jews were again praying at that sacred place where so many years they were not allowed to enter. Rabbi Josh Weinberg, the president of ARTSA, the Association of Reform Zionists of America, writes a thoughtful article, I believe on a monthly basis. In this most recent article, he wrote the following. I'm sharing but a portion. There is a Jerusalem on high and the Jerusalem of below, the Jerusalem of west and of east, the Jerusalem of gold and the Jerusalem of iron. There is the Jerusalem of development and the Jerusalem of poverty and slums. There is the Jerusalem of thoughtful celebration and the Jerusalem of aggressive and intimidating marches through the Christian and Muslim quarters of the old city. There is the Jerusalem that embraces all religious expression with towering church spires, domed mosques, and 5 flourishing Reformed congregations across the holy city. Yet there is also the Jerusalem of religious intolerance and rejection. He quotes the author Simon Sebag Montefiore. Jerusalem is the home of one God, the capital of 2 people, the temple of 3 religions, and she is the only city to exist twice, in heaven and on earth. The peerless grace of the terrestrial is as nothing to the glorious of the celestial. All of us who have spent time in Jerusalem recognize that with all of its cities, it is a beautiful and truly remarkable city. On my first trip to Israel this year, in March, I spent a day as a tourist on a unique tour. I love being a tourist. I love not leading the tour, but sitting in the back of the bus and being told where to go, when to go, and how to get there. The goal was to introduce us to citizens of the city who were making a difference, what they had in common. These people, when you spoke with them, were less concerned with conflict and were focused on what needs to be done to feed their families, to create community, and build bridges between different populations. There was a fascinating ultra-Orthodox woman who is working to broaden educational opportunities in her community, a Palestinian principal who is teaching fascinatingly the Israeli curriculum in her school because she wants her students to have the greatest possibility of success. With all of the stresses, the painful stresses that we hear about, there are so many people on the ground living each and every day, trying to create a beautiful future, not only for themselves, but for their children, their grandchildren, those who come after them, leaders building bridges. This past April, on our temple mission, we met with women who came to Israel as children. They survived the terrors of the journey from Ethiopia. They were little kids when they arrived. So many lost family members along the way. They shared their first surprise when they arrived in Israel and saw so many white people. They had come from Ethiopia. They'd never been in that kind of an environment. Coming from a third world country, they recall learning basic life skills. As young adults, they were bright and talented. They served in leadership positions in the IDF. And what have they done with their lives? They've gone back to the school where they actually found salvation and a future and are helping others whose challenging life experiences are causing them not to feel that they can participate in the future of Israel. The miracle of Israel's accomplishments must never be forgotten. But boy, do we know it is not an uncomplicated story. Since we've returned, just turn on the news. First of all, the Middle East. What can we say about the Middle East? Constant battle, war, children, young adults, men and women dying in battles that are too numerous to mention. Confrontation continues with the residents of Gaza. Rockets, but a few days ago, entered the north of Israel, and Israel's appropriate response to a targeting of Iranian soldiers. It's constant, it's crisis. The challenges faced by this 70-year-old nation, though, goes beyond border battles. This Yom Yerushalayim, our focus must be on the issue of developing stronger relationships in every generation between Israel and those of us who live in the diaspora. If you grew up a long time ago, you could not imagine the challenges that would be faced. I don't know how many of you know Steve Friedman. He's a friend and an outstanding educator. He is the head of school at Hillel Day School in our community. He writes a wonderful blog, a devoted Zionist. In this most recent comprehensive article, I'm going to share but a moment of what he wrote. His focus is on the way we need to educate young American Jews about Israel. He writes, when Israel was reborn as a modern state in 1948, it was akin to a modern-day miracle. In America, we have done a generation of Jews a disservice by not teaching about Israel and its importance to the Jewish people. Or if we taught our students about Israel at all, more often than not, we taught them the fairy tale version. This has resulted in a rift between Israel and a growing number of Jews living outside of Israel. This is a threat to our people, Jewish unity, and the future of Israel itself. We must recapture the pioneering spirit of Zionism, its importance and its relevance to us in an honest and sophisticated way. He concludes, and I would suggest you read the entire blog. It is vital that Jewish schools, other organizations, and the home do a better job teaching about Israel in a nuanced, authentic, and honest way, so that when our young people are challenged with questions about what is going on in the Middle East, it won't be the first time they have to answer, and they will be filled with information. Recently, the philanthropist Charles Bronfman, one of the founders and funders of Birthright with his friend Michael Steinhardt, delivered an address. It was May 3rd of this month at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion graduation ceremonies. Again, I'm going to suggest, if you remember his name, Google the entire article. He lists an entire selection of challenges that we are facing. I share one of his points. When Michael and I started Birthright, we were constantly labeled as two stupid rich guys who were about to make fools of themselves. Yes, it was risky, but taking risks is part of leadership. Join me in realizing that action must be taken to prevent the breaking apart of the Jewish people. Once again, the focus is on the recognition that we must work to find ways to bind the diaspora to Israel in a more intelligent and meaningful and direct way. This coming from a man, the co-founder of Birthright, that has sent over 600,000, think of that number, 600,000 college-age students to Israel with almost zero cost to them since 1999. In the year 2017, 48,000 have been sent. And so as we celebrate Yom Yerushalayim, the challenge that we face as a congregation, as educators and leaders is clear. We will not be called to the front lines. The IDF is maintaining the safety and security of the state of Israel in the most difficult of parts of the world. But we do have a real responsibility, and it begins with education. preparing our students to understand and be able to debate and discuss issues on the college campus, reminding ourselves and our students that as in our country, so too in Israel, there are issues that are truly troubling. Disagreement with a government position is encouraged in any vibrant democracy, and there are few vibrant democracies as strong as Israel and America in the world today. Political parties in Israel are as confrontational, and when you visit there, you get to see it as any kind of confrontation, and boy, we have a lot of them here in our own country. We need to encourage missions to Israel, how grateful we are to Birthright, and to our own federation for the teen mission that will be going again to Israel this summer, where hundreds of our community teenagers for 4.5 weeks are on the ground, meeting Israelis, meeting people who are dealing with the challenges of everyday life. When young people return from Israel, we must recognize that this is just the beginning of an educational opportunity. It is not the conclusion. Allow me to repeat that. When young people return from Israel, we must recognize that this is just the beginning of an educational opportunity and not a conclusion. Educators must broaden the discussion of the challenges faced by Israel in a complicated Middle East, focusing on what occupation has done to both Palestinians and to Israelis, never forgetting how often those who seek Israel's destruction have found a way to say no. Soon we will celebrate Yom Yerushalayim. A sermon about Jerusalem would be lacking if there was no mention that soon the American embassy, our embassy, will move to Jerusalem. And I offer the prayer that that move to Yerushalayim will strengthen the bonds within our country, and perhaps in a time of peace, which I believe will come in my lifetime, this will be the first of 2 American embassies in a Jerusalem at peace, open and welcoming to all. The prophet Micah speaks to us. May Yerushalayim become a place where each and every individual can dwell under their own vine and fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. May we live to see that time. It's a complicated world in which we live. May we live to see peace. May we live to see people living side by side, holding each other's hands, building bridges. May we live to see a time when our children and our grandchildren will visit Israel with no concern about the possibilities of danger, looking only to the opportunity and grateful for the opportunity to meet with their brothers and sisters in a land at peace. Hinei ma tov u'manayim, how good it will be for all of us to dwell together b'shalom, in peace. Amen.
come from so many places, so many elements, and they all come together in this beautiful tradition. Yes, we come from the fire, the water, the mountain, and the Torah.
We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the Torah, living in the Torah. Go back to the Torah, turn the world around. We come from the Torah, living in the Torah. Go back to the Torah, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life.
Do you know who I am?
We come from the fire, turn the world around.
Do I know who you are?
We come from the water, turn the world around.
See we one another clearly.
We come from the mountain, turn the world around.
Do we know who we are?
We come from the Torah, turn the world around. What are we to know who I am? Do I know who we are? See we one another clearly. Do I know who we are?
Do I know who I am? Do you know who I am? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do I know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life.
So lucky to have our Shabbat singers here with us tonight. It's my pleasure to call to the Bima Joe Beagleman, a member of our executive committee, to deliver our congregational announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. How wonderful are these children? Amazing. And Mazel Tov to our new gorgeous little baby and the future Mr. and Mrs. Sadoff. Wonderful stuff. Please join us for Shavuot Yizkor services as we honor our Jewish war veterans on Sunday, May 20th. Don't forget to pick up your tickets to Sisterhood's 25th anniversary house tour. Tour 6 unique homes to get a fascinating look at our area's architecture. The homes are open from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Wednesday, May 30th. Brotherhood welcomes guest speaker Gerald Rosen, retired chief judge, to breakfast on Sunday, June 3rd at 9:45. He will fill us in on the details of the bankruptcy of Detroit and how they got through it. It should be a very fascinating event. Save the date for Friday, June 22nd for our Shabbat service celebrating our wonderful Rabbi Jennifer and Ryan Kaluzny's 13th anniversary at Temple Israel. This picnic, weather permitting, Begins at 6 p.m., followed by a service at 7:30 p.m. For further information or to RSVP or volunteer for any of these programs, check the information tables as you leave or call the temple during office hours. Please join us after services for the oneg, my kids' favorite, and Shabbat greetings. On behalf of the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, I want to wish each and every one of you a Shabbat Shalom.
As we turn to the conclusion of our service on page 189, we invite Madeline Morrison to help us with the honor of opening the ark in honor of her conversion. Mazal Tov. And we also invite anyone in our congregation age 11 and younger to our bima to help Madeline open the ark. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We've upgraded to these really huge Smarties, so there's lots of happiness up here. We do take a moment in our service to recall those in our congregation and community who have died in the past 30 days, the period of Soshim. Susan Eisenstadt Borax, Stuart Davidson, Marilyn Folks, Sorrel Globerman, Dr. Henry Gonti, Lois Hamburger, Alan Harris, Fred Howard, Kipton Kaplan, Sarah Kay, Irving Kushner, Harold Levine, Virginia Lewinson, Shirley Lizelle, Mitch Liebskind, Lawrence Meyerson, Rabbi Aaron Pankin, Lois Pearl, Yevgenia Perlmutter, Sam Perlov, Lawrence Portnoy, Harvey Rosenberg, Celia Roth, Norman Sampson, Rita Schwartz, Vitalia Shayevich, Helen Sherman, Sandy Short, Sharon Sitter, Milford Singer, Jay Stark, Jack Warren, Leona Weinberg, Samuel Weiner, and Rose Willick. We also remember those whose yortzites occurs on this Shabbat: Sam Cohen, Lloyd Finsilver, Sophie Fishman, Ida Goldfarb, Jack Greenblatt, Bernie Linden, Phyllis Wertheimer Marks, Bruce Markman, Louis Millman, Dr. Conrad Pearl, Jordan Sheldon Rader, David Reddish, Rhoda Rowland, Charles Salter, Mark Silver, Minnie Singer, Alex Sklar, Norman Smokler, Cantor Robert Tolman, Irving Weiss, Saul Rott, Ruth Ann Pechneck, Stephen Howard Wayne, Leonard Hack, Louis Wallach, Alan Schechter, Steve Nadelberg, Sidney Levine, Lillian Rice, Jerry Rubner, Frida Walken, Morton Gilbert, Tammy Rosensfink, Ned Kamenker, Carol Silberstein, and Sherman Mendelson. We remember them with love and honor them with the words of Kaddish on page 199. Please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei docho beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom imramav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We pray that the source of peace sends peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
So we call up the Shabbat singers for one final song, and we'll conclude on page 1. We thank Emma Trivex for conducting them so beautifully, all of our wonderful singers, of course, all the parents who did the extra driving and schlepping, thank you to you, and we will see them again with Mikey Palker at our Stephen Gottlieb concert this summer, and then with the Tigers later on in the summer. So please join us. Truly, the people of Israel are strong and alive. Am Yisrael Chai. Every voice.